In today's episode, the first story is one that you and your patient personally experienced. This happened 9 years ago, in 2015. You said that on that day, you were on the night shift. I were on the night shift. Around 12 a.m., a pregnant woman at 35 weeks was brought into the hospital by her family because she had preeclampsia. Her blood pressure had risen extremely high, up to 210. Her whole body had turned purple. At that moment, the doctors and nurses tried their best to save her, but they couldn't save either the mother or the child. Both passed away. You remember her full name very clearly? That year, she was 33 years old. And she lay on bed, number 12. After the doctor announced that both mother and child had died, her family was heartbroken and cried a lot. After that, they took her home to hold the funeral and bury her. About half a year later, you said that one night you were again on the night shift. Since the patients were stable and quiet, you went into the staff resting room to take a nap. As soon as you lay down, you fell asleep right away because of exhaustion. While you were sleeping deeply, you were startled awake because you heard the groaning and calling of a woman. You heard it very clearly. She groaned and called like this: "Doctor, doctor. My stomach hurts. I'm in labor. Doctor, I'm in so much pain. Please help me, doctor." When you heard that voice, you were startled and opened your eyes. You clearly saw a pregnant woman standing just a short distance from you, her belly big and round, but you couldn't see her face. Still half asleep, you thought. If she's in labor, she should be in the obstetrics ward. Why would she come in here? This is the staff resting room. So you told her, "Ma'am, this is the staff rest area. If you're in labor, please go to the obstetrics ward. You can't give birth here." At that moment, you became terrified, because slowly, the woman's face came into view. Then she raised her voice and said, "Doctor, doctor, don't you remember me? Don't you remember me? It's me. My name is Trần Thị Thơ. Don't you remember me? I was on bed number 12. Doctor, remember? Look at my baby. Isn't my baby beautiful? Look. Look at my baby." You panicked. You looked at her hands. Earlier she had a pregnant belly, but now she was holding a baby in her arms. Terrified, you sat bolt upright. When you looked around the room again, there was nothing there. You tried to calm yourself down, closed your eyes, took a breath, and opened them again. You thought, "What did I just see? Was that a dream?" But her name, that face, why does it feel familiar? You slowly remembered the pregnant woman from 6 months ago. Oh my God. Did I just see a ghost? You felt chills crawling all over your body. You walked out to the lobby and sat there. It was around 2 or 3 a.m. You took your phone out to distract yourself. Someone who was staying overnight to care for his wife, walked out to the lobby. He recognized you as a doctor, and he asked, "Doctor, why are you out here? Why aren't you resting?" He pulled out a pack of cigarettes and asked, "You smoke? Come have one with me. I'll light it for you." You refused? "No, uncle, I don't smoke." He sat next to you and lit his cigarette. You asked him, "It's late, Uncle. I've been caring for your wife all day. You must be exhausted. Why aren't you sleeping? Why come out here at this hour?" The man replied casually, "Because that pregnant woman won't let me sleep. She chased me out here." You froze. "What? Which bed is your wife on?" "She's in the ICU. Her name is Nugent, thou LNH. You were shocked it was your department. You told him, "But Uncle, there are no pregnant women in our department. Pregnant women are in the obstetrics ward. There's no pregnant woman here." He turned to you and said, "Ghost, doctor." "A ghost?" You asked. "What do you mean, Uncle?" He told you, "My wife was sleeping, and suddenly she woke me up. She said she heard someone yelling at her. 'Hey, you old hag. Who told you to sleep in my bed? Why are you lying in the bed meant for me and my baby? Get out. Get off my bed. If you don't move, I'll choke you.' My wife opened her eyes and saw a woman holding a baby, looking terrifying. She panicked and woke me up. I told her she must have been dreaming and told her to go back to sleep." You asked? "And what about you, Uncle? What did you see?" He continued. "I lay back down on the floor to sleep. Not even 10 minutes later, I heard a shrill voice screaming, 'Hey, you old man! Hey, you old man!' I opened my eyes, and the pregnant woman was standing right next to me. She shouted, 'You don't believe in ghosts. You told your wife there's no such thing. Look at me. Look. Look at my baby. Look.' Then, Dr. O, my God, I saw her reach into her belly, pull the baby out, and show it to me. She laughed like crazy. I jumped up, woke my wife, and told her to switch beds immediately." You asked him, "Which bed was your wife sleeping on?" "Bed number 12. You were speechless. It was the same bed, the same ghost you had seen. Later on, there were fewer incidents, but one more strange thing persisted. There was a special room in the department with 3 beds and a ceiling fan. Any patient who saw something sitting on the ceiling fan the next day, without exception, they would die. If a patient didn't see anything, they survived. But if they did, they never made it." Story 2. The COVID-19 Spirits and the Ghost Nurse. The second story happened during the COVID-19 outbreak in An Giang. Your hospital had an overwhelming number of patients. It was suffocatingly stressful, many critically ill, many dying. Some days, over 30 bodies were wrapped. The upper floors were filled with COVID patients, while the ground floor was where the doctors and nurses stayed. Everyone knew they would get infected eventually, but you all stayed because it was your duty. Your department handled severe cases, patients on ventilators. Out of 10 patients, maybe 1 or 2 survived. On the ground floor, there was a big room divided into 2 sections by a glass partition with air conditioning. At first, many staff members wanted to stay there, but after going inside, they backed out, saying they didn't want the room. In the end, only you and another doctor stayed there. He was known to be spiritually sensitive. On the first night, nothing happened. On the second night, he later told you what he saw. He was sleeping when he heard loud talking, like a group of people chatting noisily. He opened his eyes and looked toward the sink area. He saw two large women sitting on the tiny sink, counted the kind too small to sit on. He thought they were COVID patients wandering into the staff area and was worried about being infected. So he said, "Excuse me, ladies, why are you here? Why are you sitting there?" The two women looked at him and said, "Doctor, we don't know the way home. Doctor, we don't know how to go home." He sat up and they vanished. He realized they were spirits victims of COVID who died suddenly and didn't know how to return home. A few days later, he saw them again, this time sitting right at his feet. They tapped him and whispered, "Doctor, doctor, we don't know the way home." Again, he sat up and panicked. They disappeared. Another incident happened during the peak of COVID, because there were too many patients to monitor. Sometimes you didn't finish rounds until nearly 11 p.m. You always had to wear full protective gear. One night, after finishing rounds, you looked outside and saw about 5 or 6 family members standing in the hallway. They were staying inside the hospital for isolation. They greeted you kindly. "Dr. Vui, it's so tiring for you. It's almost midnight and you're still working. We appreciate you all so much." You smiled and asked if they were doing okay. They nodded. Then one man said, "Doctor, we've been discussing this for a while, and we have to ask. Can you please allow us to put a small incense burner in that corner? We want to light incense. Can we?" You were shocked? In the hospital? "No, uncle, we can't. This area is full of oxygen tanks. If anything catches fire, the whole hospital could explode." They begged, "Doctor, please. We can't take it anymore." You asked, "What's going on?" They all began speaking at once. "This place is haunted. We can't sleep. They pull our legs, tug our clothes, choke us. Doctor, we see ghosts walking around clearly. They keep telling us to make offerings, but we're stuck in isolation. We can't go out to buy anything. Some people tried sneaking offerings but couldn't, and the ghosts curse us, saying, 'Why don't you feed us? You waste food while we starve.' So many of us died here, old, young men, women, children, and the older ghosts bully the new ones. We are suffering, and you still don't feed us. Do you want us to choke you and drag you with us?" "Doctor, everyone here sees them. We're terrified. Please, let us light incense, please." You told them you didn't have the authority to allow that, but you promised to ask. Then you told them, "In the meantime, just try to recite Buddha's name." One woman said, "I've been chanting until my tongue is sore. It doesn't help," another man added. "Just the other night, I was lying over there.